You're live. I'm live. Not really. I'm not alive. I'm pretty dead right now. I'm actually just getting on here to say I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I'm tired. I need to go take a nap. I don't know why. I got plenty of sleep last night. I'm eating well. I'm exercising, but I'm just kind of drained today. I don't know about you. Um, yeah, they finished early, but like when I saw that there was a half hour left and that D. Todd Christopherson was going to be the final speaker, I was like, what? I know that there's like, you know, there's some time for like the final hymn and stuff like that, but this has kind of been like a. Sorry, I'm tired. This has kind of been like a weird conference for me. um, I feel weird. Not that it's bad, but like it's just kind of weird, like ending early. Whatever happened with President Nelson's talk. Um, this one was interesting because like there was more like there was kind of a theme in this one with like the missionary stuff, right? Um, so that was kind of like a callback. It feels like to last general conference where that was the topic was good mission. Sorry. Is anybody else tired? Put T for tired if you're tired, and A for awake. Mindy's here. 5 butterflies. Very good. This afternoon session was pure fire, says Mindy. Cool. Oh, there's a lot of T's. I'm not the only one. The blue bill has hit me. Yep, time to go back and sleep and just bliss. Very T, says Jay Curtisism. Curtisism. Jay Kurt is RN, registered nurse, maybe? Justin Phoenix T. Um, I have to. Wait. What's so true? What's so true, Mindy? Has anyone else felt that this conference is a little bit weird? Like a little, like it feels like there's like a mix of things. Like when you look at the hymns and some other stuff, there's like a lot of like interesting things. Um, but there's also a lot of like, I'm not going to say feel good messages, but just like comforting messages and soft gospel topics, and it's just like it's weird. It feels weird. Um, Maybe I'm the only one. Oh, you think so too, SH? Super weird vibe. Loaded go acrylics. The first 2 sessions of General Conference ended early. Is this an unspoken way that the that the time will be cut short? It's just one of many hints that they're trying to give us. I don't know. Music was good. Mindy says this conference is amazing. Cambry Anderson, I feel like it's been milk. Yeah, there has been a lot of milk, and that's not like a bad thing, obviously. These are things that like you have to work at your entire life is the milk. It's like I always come back to basketball. It's like dribbling. You can never you always have to practice your dribbling and shooting and layups and stuff like the basics, and try and perfect it. Um, Mindy contends with me by saying, "What's weird about it?" I don't know. Maybe it's not weird. It just Mindy says it. I feel it's a very very strong conference. Um, Charles Zapp says felt like it was about learning to really live the gospel, how to get it into our hearts. Yeah, and that would be big because it's I think it's pretty close to showtime, where you really got to be you really have to be living it. You can't just be performing it. You have to. It has to be you. Deborah Bailey, feeling had to get my glasses. Greg Brown, a lot of follow him. Yeah. Cambria Anderson, no, not a bad thing. I loved it. Meat usually comes when we study. That's true. J. Curtis RN, the bone marrow transplant talk was amazing. Lots of meat on this one spiritual DNA. Deborah Lukes, reaffirming, reminding Mrs. Chef Yoda, maybe members need to get back to the basics. Focus on Christ. Yeah. Heavenly, people are having an unusually hard time emotionally right now and needed the answers that were given today.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, Jenica agrees with that. I felt, okay, sorry, weird was probably not the right word. It's felt very emotional, I think. Yeah, I think it's felt pretty emotional. Um, Aaron Pena says, to me it feels almost like a soft introduction into the government of God, almost as if the messages are being directed to the masses and not only members of our church. Well, okay, yeah, that is one of the big themes, it feels like, this conference, between these two sessions, is the global scope of the church, which is really cool. We're at a new phase with the church. It's getting bigger and bigger, and it is covering the earth. And that's been kind of incredible to see, because I don't think I've seen a time like this when there's been so much talk about different religions, different groups, the entire world. I don't think I've seen a time like this that I remember in the church. Pink Sadie Lady, walk the covenant path. Yes. Kanani Wilson. I love that they ended with hope of Israel. It has been a call to live our higher covenants. It's also about how you prepared to hear the word of God this conference. The interesting also with the hope of Israel, ending with that, is that was the name of the 2018 Worldwide Youth Devotional by President Nelson and Sister Nelson. And that was a special conference, a very special one, a devotional, where they introduced the concept of the Lord's Youth Battalion. And so there was a lot of like missionary stuff this session, excuse me, including having literal missionaries there singing the hymns. And then ending it with Hope of Israel, it's almost like that's a reminder of the Worldwide Youth Devotional. SH, weird, meaning just something different. We can't put a finger on it. Yes. Mrs. Chef Yoda, I really, really liked the analogy of the lame man. Mindy says, not milk for me. It was Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand. Huh?
Chateaubriand.
What's that?
I don't know, but it's a thing.
Chateaubriand. That still doesn't help, Deborah. Luke's like Laux. Laux. Is that am I saying it right? Laux. Mindy says to Havenly, 1,000,000%. That's pretty big. This is Chef Yoda. I agree. I have a friend who discussing the gospel with someone from Islam, and he is asking lots of basic questions. I thought this would be so perfect for him to watch. Craig Eller, carry your corner. Yeah, that was good. That's a catchy one. That's going to kind of stick in my mind, the carry your corner. Teresa Pocock, was it just me or did it seem so basic? I must have missed a lot. No, no, there probably was. I think Mindy's on a different wavelength right now than me anyway. I felt like there was a lot of meat, but or a lot of milk, but it just, I don't know, just something feels different this conference. I don't know. For me, one of the big highlights this conference is it was the last session. It was Elder Renlin's talk. And maybe that's just really resonating with me because me and Mindy did that video talking about following the prophet, and he just like laid out there, look, this is what personal revelation is, and this is what it is not. And there are people doing crazy things like thinking that they have to fix the church through personal revelation, and they're going to find scriptures and stuff like that. Um, the King Benjamin stuff, the last session, that really stood out to me. All the global type things, the global themes, um, leaders, organizations throughout the world. I liked Elder Soares' talk about full partnership in a marriage. That kind of goes along with whenever I talk about narcissism, because when you have a narcissist in a marriage, a toxic person, it is not equal. It is not. There's usually a lot of like dividing of the money, and um, just like one person does act like they're the president and the other one is vice president, if that. But I'll probably talk about that on the members only. I have so much I can say about that. But elders, I really like Elder Soares' talk. Um, he was talking a lot about how husband and wife, they should be one. And again, whenever you're one, you're Zion. So you should have Zion in your marriage. You should have Zion in your family. You should have Zion in every social circle or relationship that you're in. Ideally, you know, in our wards, our stakes. Um, President Ballard reiterated what President Nelson had said, that in coming days it's not going to be possible to survive spiritually without the constant guidance and so forth by the Holy Ghost. Um, don't worry, this time I'm meaning not to put it on the screen, so it's not a mistake. It's intentional. Um, and then he said it's important to follow the prophet. Yeah, so there is a lot of follow the prophet type stuff going on. You guys, I said I was going to go take a nap, and now look where we're at. Um, Elder Christofferson, he talked about how diversity in the church is on the rise, and that it's a natural phenomenon because the church is growing. And so we can't have racism, obviously, in the church, or tribal division. If like you don't like somebody because they're from a different tribe, then you need to knock that off. Um, because if we are not one, or in other words, if we're not Zion, then we are not the Lord's. Then we're not His. We have to be one. I'm not aware of like tribal divisions. I think that could be more of an issue in places like Nigeria and Ghana, because I witnessed it when I was in Spain. There were a lot of Nigerians there, and there was a little bit of contention. There was one guy from Delta State, and I was talking to these other people. I think they were from Ibu State, and they weren't like the biggest fans of each other. So, but the one guy was an investigator. Uh, anyway, no tribal divisions or racism. That's silly. Deborah, I'm just going to say Deborah. Okay. I think we'll get more meat on the Sabbath. It could be. Don't know. Cambry Anderson, Samuel and Abigail is one of my favorite Old Testament stories, and I was happy it was included. Haysack says the elder relating earthquakes, strength, and engineering shared strengthening ourselves to overcome and endure the way the Lord taught us. There's no automatic button to overcome all things. Mindy says maybe it was hitting women a lot differently in a good way because of the leadership calling to women coming now to prepare for the second coming. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. It does. Cecilia Hitch, I felt it had a different vibe this morning, and it was the same this afternoon. Yeah, me too. Soares was at our stake center recently, and he's wonderful. Teresa Washington, haven't seen her in a while. They're in Arkansas. Um, there were some strong warnings given in the first session. Elder Christofferson said something like, no matter the tribulation, we can overcome the world. And she's highlighting tribulation just because that's a big, like, second coming type word. Teresa Pocock, it worries me having the talks be on basic things like the church is not progressing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, because it may be just that, like, people are forgetting the basics because of worldly influences. I don't know. You might be right about that. I don't know. Deborah, stern warning on abuse, lots of prophetic authority. Glenda Wheeler, the Lord looketh on the heart. Deborah, faith absolutely key. Janet, loved this session. Elder Paul John. Christian Zybarth, get some rest. We'll understand. Thank you, Christian. Finally, someone acknowledges it. Someone that's looking out for my best interests. We'll understand. I knew people from Africa at BYU Hawaii, and they definitely knew about tribal strife. Yeah. Madeline Albert. Whenever I see your name, Madeline, I think Madeline Albright, the former Secretary of State. Good to see your wife. I wasn't able to catch all. My child is lively. Yes, I felt different. Prophet and session were short. Looking forward to sessions tonight for a meaty Sabbath. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm serious. I don't know why this is happening, but I have to go take a nap. But I'll be here after the next session. So maybe you guys take a nap too. I don't know. We can be we can do that at the same time. Nap buddies. Okay, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you after